Right, shalom, shalom, Israel. Bless you, this Pastor Corey. And I'm about to head off of the land, heading into the city. But wanted to come and spend some time with the family. Got some construction going on out here on the land. So they're getting ready to switch us over from well water to city water here out in country of Kansas. So countryside, but all is well. Hallelujah. Well, anyway, saints, I want to come on and visit with you for a brief, because I'm responding to the video that Pastor Dow posted where the 7 trumpet prepper was speaking, and it's a joy to really see people understand this and know that Yah has called people from every crevice of this earth to know the truth about us being the Israelite of the Bible, or the Israelites of the Bible. See, I'm talking about this because I think back and reflect on the trip to St. Louis when we was able to have service at Brother Fred's Aunt Fanny, I believe. If I'm incorrect, forgive me. But we was able to have service at her house, at her church. And the thing about it is, she asked some questions before we was able to start our service. And she wanted to know, did we believe in Jesus Christ, that he died, he rose, and that he's the Savior. And I said yes to all of those. I didn't come to be contentious, because I didn't know whether she was going to hear something during the service that we said that might begin to pierce her heart. But however, that is the problem throughout the world, because they have done an excellent job planting Christianity among the people. And they also have done an excellent job implanting Israeli people to be the people of the book. And so when we look at the deception, we don't understand, because y'all don't play that. When you look over in the land and you see these folks having gay pride parades. I saw a video yesterday, I believe, that Brother Ronzo 55 Israelites had posted, where there was some type of Jewish ritual going on where they were waving chickens around their heads, and they were reading probably from the Midrash or from one of these other external doctrines that has nothing to do with the restoration of the holy people. It's simple. I met a guy in Walmart yesterday, and we're getting ready to exchange a lot of information. But I was talking to one of the saints while I ran up on this brother, and how we met was I was looking for peat moss. As you see, they was doing work on the land, so the water was off because they're hooking up the water, so we had to go with buckets of peat moss last night through the house. And so, but anyway, I was looking for that, and I ran up on the young guy. He's in college up here at the University of Ottawa, and I asked him where he's from. He said he's from the Virgin Islands. I said, huh? And I looked at his name tag. His name was spelled A-S-E-A-H. And I asked him, was his name Asa or Isaiah. He said his name was Isaiah, like Isaiah. I said, huh? I said, have you read the book Isaiah? Do you know what it means? And he said, And he said, then I said, well, Isaiah means salvation. He said, well, huh? And I asked him, did he know what his name means? He said, nope, I don't know what it means. And then he said, that's strange because just a few days ago, somebody just recommended to me that I read the book Isaiah. And I said, really? I said, well, one thing's for certain is that this is not a standard conversation that people have. We're talking about some underlying things, and there's some depth to all of this. The reason why I asked you what your name means, because in the Virgin Islands, we find that there are people who have been scattered in that land from the transatlantic slave trade. And he said, yeah. He said, because we learn about that pretty deep. And then, you know, there's things I begin to study. And he said, it's strange because I don't find this just a regular event, because I find myself coming across different people. And I've been going to church, but it's just something that isn't matching up. It's just, you know, I just don't know what it is, you know, type of conversation we was having. I said, guess what? I had that same feeling too. I had went to church all of these years, and I couldn't get down to the bottom of what it seems that this belief was supposed to be about. And one of the problems, and I said you might be having the same problem too, is that the front of the book don't match up with the back of the book. He said, I'm telling you, man. So I said that's because you don't have understanding. But if you understood who the book was about, and you understood the process in which the Father, Yah, had laid out for us, then you would begin to understand the book in its entirety all together, and not as an Old Testament or a New Testament. And so then we began to talk, and he became very interested in what I had to say. And so the bottom line in all of this is that he is waking up because of the conversation that I began to share with him about, you know, Deuteronomy 28, and I shared with him, you know, Deuteronomy 28:48, because I shared it on Facebook yesterday, where there was slaves with yokes of iron around their neck, and it said that they was going to serve their enemies in thirst and in nakedness, and the enemy was going to put a yoke of iron around their neck. You know, in that verse it mentioned those things, and those were key when you look at that monument. I don't know where that monument is, but he quickly identified with Deuteronomy 28:48. And I said, okay, so then if you can identify with that in this picture and look at that, you know, then I want you to understand that those are the curses that was spoken of in Deuteronomy 28, starting at the 15th verse. 15 through 68 is the curses. Before that is the blessings. And because Yah's people was disobedient, they are under those curses. And in verse 46, it says, and all these curses shall be upon thee and upon thy seed, and upon thy seed as a sign and a wonder forever. And I said, so that means that Yah has left a sign in the Virgin Islands. He have left a sign in St. Louis, Missouri, where I'm from. He's left a sign in Kansas City, Missouri. He left it in New Orleans, Louisiana. He left it in Vallejo, California. He left it in Phoenix, Arizona. He's left it in the Netherlands. He left it everywhere where his people are scattered. Those signs are prevalent for us to look out and know, just like Josiah did when he rent his garments, when he had the book of the law read to him, when he went through and he looked out and saw that the curses that was wrote in the book of law was on Jerusalem and Judah, and he began to desire to know what it is that his people would need to do. And so these things where people don't want to accept, you have people like the 7 trumpet prepper who have received this fully. Whereas where we went to the church this weekend to Brother Fred's aunt, she said to Brother Fred that she knows we are Israelites, but we somehow don't connect the need to return to his Torah. We don't connect the need that there's going to be a great restoration taking place. And the restoration is going to be from a spiritual sense, meaning that there are going to be mighty signs and wonders done by the Most High Yah that the hands of men are not able to do. Our job in the whole restoration is returning to his word. He said that in Deuteronomy chapter 4, he said, in the latter days, in your distress, when all these things come upon thee, if you shall hearken to my word. See, so he said it way back in Moshe day that we should return to the word that causes us to perform obedience. Because remember, he said that if one says that he knows me and he keep not my commandments, this one is a liar and the truth is not in him. And so knowing that, then we miss out on what it is that we should be doing to be a part of restoration. That's why I warn people, because then you guess what? The 7 trumpet prepper have awakened a lot more people to a more conscious walk in this Israelite restoration than a lot of these camps. Because here it is, you have a stranger that is within thy gates, who there is one law for the homeborn and for the stranger that's within thy gates. And the word, he said, he shall be as thy brother, he shall be as Israel. The word tells us. So when we have that, then, and there's many other things that we've been pointing out. You know, I just wait for people to jump on this video and start talking about Esau and white and all this other shit that they be talking about, because it don't mean nothing, you know. And that right there is people who are thankful that they was able to see that it is true, because guess what? It came out of a white person's mouth and not just out of black people's mouth. We can't even believe a damn thing that come out of each other's mouth, because we've been at it so long, at each other's necks, heads, I mean, just you name it, and we can't believe nothing. You know, I've experienced that, you know, when I was coaching. You know, here I am, a black role model, you know, coaching. I went to several state championships with my track teams. You know, I've won a lot with my younger teams, my youth football teams when I coached. And when I got in the situation where I coached at Center High School, you know, that was a very, 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 very prejudiced situation for me. And, you know, to the point where people knew it. It was other faculty coming telling me about how they were doing me. And the whole point is the children couldn't see it. You know, the children that went to the school was 90% black, and the teachers was 90% white. And the students couldn't see it, you know, because as soon, you know, the things that was going on with me, and then, you know, some of the students did, you know, they, you know, it's just like it's that black mystique that we can't buy from one another, we can't serve one another, we can't trust one another, whatever it is, you know, they couldn't do it. But soon as they pulled the whammy. And when I say pull the whammy, I do mean pull the whammy. And they brought in the white coach, you know, then everybody clung to him. And I had to go over that story one day, so you just won't think I'm just saying something, because I got documentation to this day on the things that they were doing, you know, and there's other teachers, you know, that can attest to this, you know, white and black, you know, because some of those folks were on the inside, but they had a better heart than what was going on, but they wasn't going to open their mouth and tell and participate if I wanted to go forth and take these things to court. But anyway, you got the seven trumpet prepper, who is a white man, who is just more so my brother than some of these other folks out here who say they are Israel and they are only sons and daughters according to the flesh. See, you got people like that who is passionate. I was listening to the video where he was talking about laying prostrate on his face. See, some of you Israelites have never experienced the real power of the Holy Spirit. So, so you can't attest to what it means or what it feels like to dwell in the Holy Spirit, to be a part of that. See, the thing that I was talking to the saints about here recently, I'm going to get ready to end this video, is that before I had found out that I was in the bloodline of the true Israelites, and you know what, I was up under those curses, and finding out and looking out at the places I grew up, finding out that we are cursed people because of the disobedience, and we are the seeds and the evidence of those. Before I found those things out, I had already had spiritual things take place in my life that I didn't understand. I didn't want to understand. I didn't want any part in it. But because my wife was a believing wife, you know, she was my wife, before I met her, she was one who had a great interest in the Most High Yah. She had a genuine thirst for the Most High Yah. I didn't. I was just primarily interested in whatever men and women do when they hook up and you see a fine woman, you see a beautiful woman according to the world. And so that was my interest. But long story short, you know, we had got on this journey together, and you know, I found myself desiring to want to know more about the Most High, because I had to start having things happen to me where they was unexplainable. And as I journeyed down that path, I found Yahshua. And then as I come over into the way, then the Father started using me to lay hands. He began to use me to speak a sound word. He began to open up understanding. And then I find on the internet there's other people who have come into the same knowledge, but they don't have the evidence that the words speak of to say that they are true children. Ain't nothing following them as a believer. Nothing is showing that they truly believe. And so I want you to be careful. You know, I'm going to take extra care with that young man, Isaiah, with walking him down. I'm going to warn him about you niggas on the internet with all this vain teaching and false teaching that you're doing. Because guess what? I could feel when I was in the store with him. He just want to feel the power of Yah move. Because people are going to desperately need to know that when everything starts falling apart. You know, we're going to need to know that we have a band of holy angels encamped around us. But some of you all don't have nothing around you because you're so filled with wickedness. Your heart is rotten to the core. And there is no holy presence around you. The only presence around you is the niggas that's standing with you on the street corner. That's it. So, in that, I bid you, Israel, to do well. Make sure that you become spiritually equipped for the war that's coming on us. It's not too long from now, we're going to find ourselves in a position where all disruption is going to break out. And the people that's without the true and living Elohim are going to truly hurt. They are going to truly be disappointed that they did not truly know him. Because you're going to be left out to dry. You're going to be hung out to dry. And there's not going to be any hedge of protection around you because you lived wickedly and you called it righteously. You called it righteous. You called it good. Well, that's my piece for today, Israel. Blessings to my family, to my shepherd, Pastor Dow. Love Pastor Dow, man. I hear his words every day when I'm riding, when I'm in the gym. You know, when Satan want to come tempt me because the words he speaks is the words of the prophet that was going to be sent, that was likened unto Moshe, Yahshua. And I can hear it. And I bless all of Israel. I hope y'all can hear from a real true shepherd that you too stay on the path of righteousness. Hey, I'm Pastor Corey. Shalom, shalom.